Hi, everybody. We are back again, and it feels so good. So we're going live on my business page, my Facebook page on Facebook for the very first time, and Jason is here with me. Jason Adkins, you have seen me channel with Jason before, and we haven't been live for a little while, and we're coming back on live again. So how you doing, Jason? A
I'm
little
good.
nervous?
No, I'm not. I'm not nervous. I feel like I'm past the
The nervous part?
nervous phase.
Good.
Yeah, it was funny. I was telling you yesterday how he kept singing the "Reunited" and "It Feels So Good" song in my head all day yesterday.
He
Yeah,
was
so he's
he was
super
like,
pumped.
yeah, yeah. So those of you who don't know Eric, Eric is uh, Eric Medhus from the YouTube channel Channeling Eric. And I think this is really one of the very first YouTube channels that we were all connected to. Hey, Jason? I think we all were like,
Yeah,
wow, like, the channeling information that came through on that channel was so amazing. Hi, everybody. They're all coming on now. And happy Sunday. And so if you guys haven't heard of Channeling Eric, go check him out on YouTube. So much great information. Go right to the very beginning with Jamie Butler and all the way up.
yeah,
And yeah, Jamie.
she's awesome.
Wow. I mean, we can all, say how wow that woman is. So channeling Eric. Okay, so we have Eric with us, and we're going to be channeling him here today for everybody. So, of course, it's not for the faint of heart. So, if you'd like a very blunt, direct guidance from Eric, feel free to ask your question. We're going to do quick Q&A. And so last night I was eating dinner, and Eric pops over my left shoulder, and he says, very seriously, he was really serious. He said, "You better enjoy that because it's not going to last forever." And he was looking at my dinner, and he was basically telling me that you better enjoy that food because you're not going to be able to eat food like that forever. Because like when you exit your body, you're not going to be eating food like you are in this experience, right? And I guess that goes for all the other enjoyable experiences that we have here on Earth. So enjoy every moment, every single moment. Oh, Jackie saying hello, sweet Jason and Kristen. I love
Hey,
it.
Jackie.
Jackie. So you want to take the first question, and or like if you see or hear or feel or know any information that's coming from Eric at all that's coming through right now, even before the questions come. Does Eric have a message for any of us?
He does.
I knew it. Knew it.
I feel like I kind of touched on this a little bit with you, but like probably 30 minutes um, before we came live, uh, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go ahead and get him. I mean, I feel like he's always here anyways, but he very much made it clear that um, he's giving me the chill bumps. And it's not just for him, but any person that's in spirit, like your loved ones or your friends, whatever relatives. He's like they're never but a thought away. Like
Literally.
the act of he said that the act of thinking about them literally is like a beacon, like
Mm-hmm.
it summons them, right? Summons. He's like, you're a wizard, Jason. Summon me. But yeah,
I love
um,
it.
yeah, but he just wanted to make it clear. Uh, and I feel like we know that, like at least that, like that's our understanding. But he really is wanting to reinforce that.
Yeah.
And even if you can't tell a difference, right? Like even if you can't feel them around you or you're not hearing anything or whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't negate the fact that you're affecting them to you. And even if you can't feel their presence, he said, this is where it comes down to having faith, right? Or some type of a belief system, regardless of what that belief system is. It really helps reassure us in knowing that when we think of them, that they are with us.
And that's always what I've heard the angels say, is that whether you believe or not, is the point of what's important is that you ask. So some of us will ask when we go and we pray. Some of us will ask when we're cursing someone for this, that, and the other. And I just prefer to talk with them all the time. I used to be too nervous to talk with them out loud. I wouldn't talk with them out loud because I was like, this is a bit of a farce. Like, what if somebody sees me? But now I walk down the street walking the dog, and it's like I got my little pretend Bluetooth in, and nobody knows any difference when your hair is down. And I'm just talking away to them. And sometimes they come in even when you don't ask them to come in. Sometimes they come to you because they have something they want to say to you, or they want to visit you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This actually happened to me just the other day. I was at my friend's, and she wasn't feeling too good. She just had a scope down her esophagus, and both my ears got cupped. I couldn't hear too good, and I thought, whoa. And then it started to intensify. So what was that a signal of? It was a signal that somebody was in the room trying to get my attention, trying to communicate with me, felt masculine. I knew it wasn't an angel. And the more you practice, the more you sense what an angel feels like, what an archangel feels like, what a deceased loved one feels like. So I knew that this was a masculine energy. And I said to my friend, do you feel the energy? And she said, no. She didn't feel nothing. I said, it's your husband. He's here visiting you. And then he said he's going to hang out for a while in her living room. And I knew exactly where he was because the energy was coming right at me. It's really intense. So the more you practice, the more you open your channels, the more you can sense when they do come. But a lot of us sense it in so many different ways. Eric will just come right up and blow right on my face. I'm like, hi, Eric. But there's other ways that he gets your attention, and he's just so much fun, isn't he? Like, he just gets your attention in ways, and he loves to shock. Oh, yeah, like when you aren't expecting it. Oh yeah, he just loves to come in and make you uncomfortable. Oh yeah, like he loves it. Well, it's part of the perks on the other side, right?
Yeah, right. The other day, week before last, I was going to work. I was on my way to work in the morning. It was right before Thanksgiving because there was no traffic. Like, there was no traffic on the road, and I got behind this moving truck. And someone, how the back of them are really dirty. Somebody had drawn a penis on the back of it, and he immediately popped into the passenger side seat and was cracking up. And so, like, I'm flat. Like, it was so funny. Like, I knew that. Like, I was like, okay, I see what you did. And then this car comes driving by me in the fast lane, and they had a personalized tag, and the tag said, "Hey, bro." Like, there's a penis drawn on the back of the truck. Like, he pops in just cracking up, and then this car goes by with the "Hey, bro," and I was like,
because that's what Eric does all the time.
Yeah, I was like, look what you did. I was like, look,
amazing.
And like, someone else could have seen that, and they could have potentially been like, oh, could that be? But then they just dismissed it, right? Like,
yeah,
but it was so cool.
He just lined that right up for you, man. This, and then boom.
Yeah, it was
hey,
awesome.
Bro. Who else says hey, bro?
It was just awesome. And the fact that my mind put the two together, like, okay, this is the same thing. Cool. Like, I think that really comes down to, like, you gotta acknowledge, right? You acknowledge those small coincidences. I find myself now. Yeah, go ahead.
That's where the number sequences come in. Everybody's like, what are these number sequences? Yeah. They're trying to get your attention. They're trying to get a message to you, and they will relentlessly put it in your day-to-day life until you get it. Or butterflies. or
Um,
pennies or
yeah,
yeah.
it's so cool. Like, um, my mom has really been super, and she's having things because she's acknowledging, right? Like she's acknowledging the things now that she sees, and she's having more and more things happen. And she sent me a message Friday, and she was like, "I'm gonna get your thoughts on this." She was like,
Ooh.
um, she has a coworker that has a son that, or a coworker's brother, something like that. There's a kid, there's a child that passed away.
Oh.
Um, and like I talked to them, right? Like so she relayed the information. But she was like his name was Logan. Um, she said and then all of a sudden she heard like with her physical ears, um, him. She was like, I know it was him. He said, "Can I go live with Jason?" And she was like, she said it was so loud. She turned like she literally like stopped
Whoa.
what she was doing, and like she said it scared her. Like it didn't scare her, but
But it
it
surprises
startled,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Because
You're like,
yeah,
whoa.
it surprised her. So it's really cool. Like and I feel like he's saying, why he's wanting to do this. Like you have that one person in your circle of friends that starts acknowledging things, and then look what happens to the rest of the people in the circle. They either leave the circle,
Mhm.
or the other people in the circle start having, it's like they feed off of the same person, right? Or they're feeding off of that energy, and it really helps kind of open them up. Like I find myself now more and more when I'm out in public, my attention will be drawn to someone. Like I can't help but stare at them. And I've gotten pretty brave.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty
You're
brave.
more
At
brave
least,
than me.
I mean,
Ah,
like I don't care. You know, at this point, I don't
you
care.
just go right up
But
to
it's
them.
so weird. Like I used to would tell my friends, like like I would have a few friends that I would really talk to about it, and I'd be like, oh, I need to go talk to them, and then I'd be like, but I don't want to because these my other friends don't really
Right. They're like,
or
what
know,
is he
right?
gonna? What is he doing? You
Now I
know?
just don't care. I don't even tell them anymore. Like I get up, I go, and they're like, "Oh, he's over there." I know it's become second. It's kind of become second nature for them
Oh
to
my
not
God.
question. Right? I don't know. It's been
But
really cool.
the person they'll take
Um,
it or they'll leave it, and if you're channeling this guidance and it's coming through so strong, sometimes this energy just won't leave you alone until you pass along that guidance to that person. And you don't know
right.
how that information may change, their day, their life. And that is what is most important, I feel.
I did
Yeah.
start taking your advice, and instead of just going up to them, I'm like, "Hey, this is if I share this with you, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want a reaction or,
Yeah.
I've come across people that have been, and then I can tell that they're just not into it.
Yeah.
Just kind of standing there with my Eric, like with your thumb up your ass, stupid, because like they won't acknowledge. They're just like, okay, yeah,
Well,
okay. Well, they're
it's,
not into it.
sometimes they're just not ready, and that's
Yeah,
okay. And that's okay. I mean, when all this started happening to me, I couldn't say if I was ready. I wasn't even interested, let alone ready. But if somebody, I suppose, came up and asked me, I'd be curious then. And I'd be like, okay, what does this
right.
person want to relay? Now I want to know. So that's kind of cool. I think that that's a good way to go. You want to take this first question because they're really laying out the questions here. So we're ready
Yeah,
to take your
I
questions.
can't see them.
Yeah, I got them right here on my right
Okay.
side. Okay, so about a month ago, Luann, she wasn't sure if she was having a dream or if it was real, but she saw what seemed like two or three beings right by her bed. She just happened to look up or wake up. It was dark, so she didn't see clearly then, and they swiftly left. So, did she really see this? Was this a dream? Who were they?
He.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna say that it's. I'm gonna explain my answer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Eric says it was very much real.
Yeah, I'm getting the same
That it
thing.
was very much real.
Yeah.
You saw what your brain was able to digest, right? Like, um, but he also wants to say like, so what if it had been a dream? Why is that dream not just as valid of an experience as
Wow.
if it's physical, right? Like he said, this
Wow.
was something that you really did. He said you weren't dreaming, but what if you had been? It doesn't take away the
Make, yeah.
validation of the experience. Um,
Wow. Because it could have been a message through your dream state anyways.
yeah, yeah.
And you know what?
Oh,
That
that gives
has
me
actually
chills.
happened to me. I've woken up with an energy right next to my bed, and then it dissipated within seconds. And then I knew everything was okay because my angels soothed me back to sleep. So I knew if my angels were okay and they were there in the room with me and I knew that they were comforting me, then I knew everything was okay. And I have Archangel Michael living in my home, so I really don't. I'm not
Right.
concerned. I'm like, if I got any issues, I know who I'm calling on. Bring in my big time bouncer. And, you know, there were times where I had the Yael waking me up to relay a message to relay to somebody else. And I said, they don't understand that I was sleeping. This isn't the right time. So they're like, oh, okay. And then the three of them were going to hang out in the corner. I'm like, till I woke up in the morning and I'm like, could you wait outside? So basically put, I called in Archangel Michael then because I'm like, could you make sure that nobody else just shows up to relay a message? And no problem. He was there within a split second. I could tell he was suctioning out the rest of their energy out of my room, and he stood right next to me, and I had the best deep night's sleep. Oh, I was great after that. Okay, so I'm going to take Deidre's question. Should I keep looking for a job? So what I do is I'm just looking off to see what Eric's going to show me in my head. He's laughing. He says, Deidre, you need to laugh more. You need to have more fun. You need to get out there, enjoy life. That's the first thing that he wants to suggest to you. Second thing, whatever job you go for, make sure that it's fun, you enjoy it, and it's part-time. He says he doesn't want you to worry about this. This is his hand signal for money. Well, that's all of their hand signals for money. Okay? Do it because you love it, not for the income. But bare minimum, he goes right back to the first thing that he suggested, which is laugh more, have more fun, enjoy life. He says this is not going to last forever. You only have this one go around in this experience right now, in this body, in this life. And he goes, and now he's laughing his head off, and he says, thank you. If I did his laugh, I can't even do his laugh. He's like, I don't know. I see it in my head. So, okay. So the next question for you, Jason, is Anita, what can we do to detox from heavy metal poisoning?
I knew I was going to get that question. I saw it, and I was like, that's going to be mine.
You knew it.
So he already
Love
showed
it.
me. Yeah, because he already showed me.
Mm-hmm.
What are those? Okay, I've seen a commercial for these, and I'm sure you can get them at whatever. But they have these detox pads that you put on the bottom, like you put on the bottom of your foot, like you put them on the bottom of your feet when you go to sleep, and then like in the morning they're black. He was like, it's not a chemical change to make you think that it's working. He said they really will help pull out the heavy metal, but other things that are toxic in the body. He's like, you know, he's like, I'm depending of the level, you may need to see a actual doctor if this is an issue for you. However, the homeopathic route, right, like a preventative measure, um, detox cleanses that you can take, like, you can either make your own or buy and drink, along with the pad things that they put on the bottom of their feet. But he also is like kind of doing the shin thing. Like, you don't want to overdo it, because not only does it detoxify the negative, it can also remove some of the
The good
good
stuff.
stuff
Yeah.
that you need. So if you are doing it, make sure that you're following up or chasing it. He's like chasing it with um,
All the good stuff.
some type of supplement, whether it's a drink or actual vitamins.
Do you know where Eric? I know Eric knows this, but I actually went to the home or a naturopath, and I actually did get that detoxification out of the bottom of my feet. And it was when I had colitis, and I was trying anything and everything that would possibly help take the pressure off my immune system, because it was an autoimmune response, right? Autoimmune disease, whatever you want to call it. And so the naturopath said, let's put your feet in this bath. So it had a solution in it, put my feet in, and it was pretty shocking what came out of my feet. I mean, I can't see how that could have been faked. There was like
Right.
a sludge that came out of my feet, and it was in the water. They had to drain it. And then I went for a second time. Okay, so I'm thinking, well, if this is fake, it'll be the exact same result, right? It wasn't. It was about half the amount of sludge came out of the bottom of my feet, and it turned the water like a rusty type color with, I mean, anyways. So I thought to myself, okay, so there was half the amount, so there was less than the time before. And then I knew at that point we shouldn't push it past that point. I could tell my team was guiding me, you don't need to get another one done. So I didn't get another one done. And it's interesting that you say you don't want to do it too much, because it'll take out the good stuff. And I didn't realize or understand why my angels would have guided me to not get it done again, but I listened. But that's a valid reason why. So if you go to a naturopath, that works, and you will see what I'm talking about. Try it first, and then see what you think, and then we would love to hear back from you on that. Okay, so I'm going to give the next question to you, Jason, because I always answer Philome's questions or relay the guidance, and I want you to relay the message.
Okay.
Okay. Eric, are Stephen and I on track? He's not working, and suddenly I am working in corporate work. Shouldn't it be the reverse?
He's such a smart ass. And he's doing this because I know that he has a relationship with Phil. He's very much saying, why do you keep questioning the grand design of things? Like why do you keep questioning? Like, he understands, and he's saying that as a, like, what's it called? Where he's asking the question, but he's not really wanting the answer. I can't think of what type of question. I can't think of it, the word. But he's like, you know that you're on the right path. You know that you are where you are supposed to be in the moment. Now he understands that your vision of the outcome, we all want it to be this straight line of, okay, yep, here we are, here's the finish line. He's like, just don't stress over it. Be in the moment. You are where you need to be. This is a temporary. This is not permanent. This is only. It feels like maybe like a 4-month period. start to finish of being in this role that you're in right now before there's some switch. Yeah. He's like, just trust in the process, Phil. Trust in the process. You know it. You already know. He's like, she already knows.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And the last part I'm seeing here is you have so much help on the other side right now, Philome. It's not even funny. Like your endeavors are so massively huge that everybody wants you to succeed and they're not going to let you down. And this whole endeavor that you're undertaking is so huge that they got you. They got you and Stephen. So tell Stephen to sleep. Tell Stephen to sleep in and relax. And stop counting pennies.
You know, yeah, Eric said that what you're doing is just as much for them in spirit as it is for people here. So he's when Kristen, she said that you have all these people. He does like there's this convergence, right? Like you have this one group over here in spirit, then you have this other group here in the physical, and it's like they're just both converging onto you and onto Stephen, with the support.
And look at all these amazing people that you've met already, and you're bringing them all together. And I remember saying to Philome when she was staying at my house, I looked at her across the room, and I looked at her at the kitchen. And you remember what I said to you, Philome? I said, have you ever failed at anything? Has there ever been a time where you've ever failed? And she said, no. And I said, so why would it be any different with this? You're not going to fail. You won't. And I know you won't. All right. So let's giddy up. Caitlin, Jane, I'll take this one. Is Eric still guiding me in my career endeavors? Am I on the right path? Yes, you're on the right path. That's the first thing he's saying. Yes, you are on the right path. Oh yeah. He's so they do this thing in my head where they put their hand over your life. It's really over your head and over your entire life. And he says he's got his hand in it and he's helping to guide you. It's not just you, he's guiding a lot of the things that are happening. The more you relax and go with the flow, the more he and the rest of your team can come in and help you. So there's two things that they're requesting. One, ask for what you want help with. But he wants you to say this or something better. Because what you think is best may not be what is even best, okay? Because they can see everything from their broad perspective. So this or something better. Make a list as to what you would like so they can read it. And the second thing is chill the fuck out. That's what he's saying. Chill the fuck out. The more you can practice chilling the fuck out, he's saying, the better off you will be. Why? Because then you're not bucking the current and you're relaxing, enjoying life, going with the flow. And then we can come in and operate in your life and help you in ways that really you can't imagine. How do you partake with us? By chilling the fuck out. Asking for what you want and then chilling the fuck out. Now he's doing this. He's done talking about it. All right. Okay, so Belinda's question is, today I had a strong message. I'm back into my power, stronger and not in a comfort zone. So I have much to do. What is it? You want to take that? Oof. Do you feel that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, yeah, he said that you never lost your power. Right? He said you never
Wow. Do you feel that, Jason?
Yeah, my back. I've got the chill bumps.
I got like this
All
massive
over.
energy that just came above my head. So you go first, Jason, and then I'll see who this is.
Okay. Um, he really is proud of you for stepping outside of the comfort zone. Um, he said, and this is a message to all of us: is that sometimes we all get comfortable, right? And no one ever really grows or learns when they're always comfortable. Um, so either putting yourself in positions or being put in positions where you're not at that comfort zone really does help us grow. And that's what we're here for. We all know that. Hey, this has got to be some type of because he keeps reinforcing you never lost your power. He's like, you never lost your power or your way. You lost your confidence, your abilities, right? Or yourself. There was a loss of confidence. Um, he's he's showing me the old wartime. I can't think of Rosie the Riveter. Like she's sitting there with she's got the little bandana and she's got her sleeves rolled up and she's
Oh
like,
yeah, flexing.
like that female, that female empowerment type thing. He's like, it's very much like that's the mindset that he wants you to have, and he wants you to attack it. Like, don't sit back and passively power that you have. Don't sit back in your comfort zone because it's going to be the same. It's the same thing's going to happen. It's going to be a repetitive cycle. He's like, you've got to take this new confidence and power and really start attacking the world, right? Like attack whatever it is, whatever the goal is. So there's got to be a goal. Whatever the goal is, he's like, really, really go for it. Like 110% go for it. Because if you put that energy into it and the effort, he says there's nothing that you can't do.
I totally agree.
And it's gonna lead to you helping many.
He
said, why only help? Yeah, he's like, why only help 3 or 4 people when you can help 3 or 400? Like he's like, it's that big of it can be that big of a difference. Yeah, like the amount of energy you put into it is gonna multiply it. So you can go from 3 people to 300 to 3,000. Like
so
it's your effort.
What does she do then if she doesn't know what to do? So I'll give you my thoughts on that, which is find some kid in your local area, Belinda, who can help build your business page on Facebook, who's going to help you build your YouTube channel. He's going to help you film her, film your videos. Somebody that's going to help you with your Instagram, and you find that individual in your local area that's going to help you do these steps. And don't delay, don't sit back on your laurels on this, because there's been too much of that already. And we know that you're gifted. This energy that's above me is so massive, coming in so strong that it took me a little off guard here. Usually when the energy of God, source, light and love, universal oneness, whatever you'd like to call it, comes to visit, it comes from above, usually. And it was coming above, it's still here. And it's descended over my head, got my attention. And then I was just sitting in waves of like bliss. And what God would like to say to you, Belinda, is this: I've got your back. Do not delay, dear one. Do not delay. Do not delay. Thank you. Okay, and that's the message for you. Molly, I missed your question, so we're going to go back down. Okay. Thank you. God's just thanking me, so I'm thanking God. And now God is pulling away. Always here, never disappears, just not right up against my head, making me lightheaded and blissed out. Molly, who came through and made noise with my crystal grid the other night? Who did that? Oh man, Molly, your house is full. First things first. Um, it's your angels. I'm getting your angels. Anybody else there? You have visitations from your loved ones, but they're not the one who did that with your crystal grid. So you want that connection with them, and you want to channel them. And until this time happens, they will get your attention in other ways. Number sequences, noises, sounds, even not even just with your crystal grid, but also music. Certain songs will be highlighted, and or you'll have certain songs in your mind that will rotate. You'll want to hum them and sing them. I see a music angel with you. He's all green. He's in green. He's smiling at me. Thank you, dear one. That's what they're saying to me. Thank you, dear one. And that lets me know. So, Molly, they're getting your attention. You can ask them to get your attention if you want, too. Like, give me some number sequences. I remember asking for feathers one time, and I was like, whoa, feathers. And then I would see feathers over here out of the blue. That wasn't normal. And then my aunt's neighbor came in, and he had this big feather vest because I asked for feathers in 3. So I'm like, oh, I wonder when this third time's going to come. And he opens his vest, and he's asking us for tape because he had this big cut in his down vest, and just spewed out feathers all over at my feet. And I'm like, well, here's the third one. All right. So here's the next question, Jason. Linda would like to know, I've been doing EFT and forgiveness work. Last month has been brutal and I'm ready for a new job. Is there any guidance on industry, please?
First, he wants to acknowledge the tapping. He's talking about how effective it's been for you. But we also just have moved out of this energy. Like there was this crappy energy thing, like playing, like
heavy duty.
So that on top of your everyday normal stress, right? Just everything was So direction, I'm not sure if your question is meaning like in what area are you looking to go in, or if you're looking for a job, but whatever, I'm just going to tell you what he's telling me. It doesn't seem like it's going to be something new, like a new field or anything. It feels like it's something that's going to be familiar with you. So whether it's going to be something similar to an old job that you had, he says that there is one coming. There is one coming. But I feel like he's making me feel like we're looking all over here because we don't want to do this again. Like we don't want this job again. So we're looking all over here and we're not finding anything. But the reason why this job keeps coming up to the forefront is because that's the one that you're supposed to go to. because he said it's going to be different. It's the same but different. I know that sounds weird, but it's the same type of work, but it's a different place, and the work environment is not going to be the unhealthy environments that you have been in the past. Like it really is going to be a better situation. I hope that makes sense to you and answers the question that you were asking.
Awesome. So Pally, she's asking you, Eric, if she's trying to move on from you know who in a nice way, but they're not going. What should I do? Okay, Pally, here we go. Um, he's saying it slower for me. Cut that shit out of your life. If it's no longer making you feel good, if it's not in vibrational alignment with where you're at, cut it out. And he's talking about like basically growing a pair and like stepping up and just doing what you know is best for you. That's it. That's the message.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is. Because he said when you were reading it, Kristen, like you start laughing, I'm like, oh, I know he's cussing. I know it. Like I know he's cussing because he said, why do you have to be fucking nice about it?
Yeah.
He said, you tried that. You tried
Yeah.
that. It's not working.
Yeah.
Do like grow a pair, like, grow some lady balls.
Yeah. And he literally showed it like a pair of balls. He did. Okay, so here's Sally's question for you, Jason. My life has been chaotic more than usual the last few months. Too many to ask about on here. What lesson am I being taught right now, and when will things slow back down?
This is also I don't like using the energy as a cop out. But there are a lot of us that went through a rough patch, right?
Big time.
Because of the energy.
Yep.
Whether it was just like an emotional rough period, a financial rough period, like we all experienced it differently.
The ego flared more than normal in a
Yeah.
lot of people.
And because he's gonna answer this question, and this for you because I saw some of the other questions, and he's like, this kind of sums up some of the information for everyone. He said we're so focused on what's gonna happen, right? Like we're so focused on trying to look forward. He said that we lose sight of the present. He said, oh, he's giving the chill bumps. He said, he's like, do you want to know? He's like, you remember the old question, what's the meaning of life? He was like, the answer is being present in the moment every day. You're making yourself aware of life, right? Like,
how often are people present in the moment? They're not. That quiet time in the moment. Your mind is racing all the time. Your life is racing all the time. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about the past. You're thinking about what you have to do next. You're never actually in the moment. So the more you practice that, the happier you will be, the more calm and peaceful your mind will be. It's a beautiful place to be. It's not always going to be
really
perfect.
making it. No, it's not, and it's not always going to be right. Like, especially if you're not used to living in the moment. So he's like, spread it out throughout the day to where you make a conscious effort for 5 minutes just to be like, sit down and take in your surroundings. Like just look at the people walking by, like listen to the things that are going on, be aware in the moment. And he's like, the more you do that throughout the day, you're going to start piecing those, like this segment's going to finally run into this segment to where you're always in the moment. Do something sporadic, right? Like don't plan something. Like the next off day that you have, if you can, whether you have to take someone with you or not, whether you have kids, I don't know. He's like, find a minute and just, go a different way to work, right? Like, or if you're going to pick up the kids from school or going to the grocery store, he's like, turn left instead of turning right. Like, be in the moment and make a sporadic change, and then take in the surroundings.
I love sitting and having a still minute. Everything outside this is secondary in my life. This is my primary of importance. And this is self-care and self-love.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to briefly say, Sally, your male guardian angel, very strong, came in behind me. He wants you to know that this is energy related, the same thing that Jason just channeled from Eric. Energy related, and things will be smoothing out for you and becoming easier for you soon. But he's loving this being present in the moment. He's clapping, applauding that he's showing that he's happy about that. All right. Tracy, I've asked my angels and my husband's angels, but also asking Eric for his reinforcements for my husband, who is filled with anxiety and depression with thoughts of suicide. You want to take that, Eric? He says, okay. Gosh, it can be blunt sometimes, hey? Is there any, so I'm just asking Eric a few questions. It's like this perpetual cycle where he's kind of like down on himself, or he has these like perpetual tape pattern thoughts that he has rotating in his head, and the same cycle, same thoughts, same vibrational frequency is reoccurring in him, and he needs to break that, because Eric says if you duck out early, you're coming back to repeat it all over again in this case. Really, this is about what can you do, Tracy, to help your husband. Counseling. He says that's really important to break this cycle that's going on in him. Do whatever it takes to get him into counseling, with you or without you. Eric said he's going to help you do this. His angels are helping to get this going as well. Keep praying, keep asking for help. Keep grounded, Tracy. You being grounded and solid is going to impact his energy. So the more you are just neutral and grounded, the better. So if that means you go outside into nature every single day, EFT tapping, asking the earth to ground you, using crystals, being around plants, leaning your back up against a tree, even for 5 minutes a day, you being grounded will impact his energy and bring him back more into his body, get him to be more centered and more grounded. Eric says, other than that, is just about getting him into counseling. He's going to help you do that. Okay? Here we go. Joanna is asking, Jason, does Eric have any messages for me from my angel? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Right above my head.
He's such a smart ass sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's like, you want me to, you don't want a message from me, right? Like, you just want to use me. You just want to
to
use
get to
me
your
to talk to your
angels.
angels.
And I'm connecting right with your angels,
Uh,
Joanna. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. You got a whole team. It's a whole team. They're all
yeah.
here.
And yeah, and I don't know. He's just, I don't know what you, okay, so I'm just gonna say it. He says that the support that you feel you don't have, you do have. So there's got to be a situation that either you're going through right now or that you just went through to where you felt abandoned or you had to do it alone, like you didn't have a support system there. He says the fact that a room full of your angels right now is like shows
Wonderful.
you that yes, you do have. He said even with Jason having me here and I'm just one person, he's like I'm still here. Like I'm here to support you. But he's like, but look, Kristen's got a room full. It's just reinforcing the like support. But we may not be open arms to that support. Like we're doing this versus this. Like we're not embracing it. We're not accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Joanna,
like,
I
I
see
love you,
all your
girl.
angels waving. Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet, Eric. They're
Yeah.
all waving,
He's just wanting
Joanna.
to reinforce that you have the support. Yeah.
Let me just see what your angels want to say. Do you want to say something? Not at this time. Joanna talks to us often. Alrighty then. Joanna, keep talking to your angels. They hear you. Ask us for help. Then let it go and leave it in our hands. Okay? You just need to ask them once and then let it go. It's in their hands now. So, Alina, should I start energy healing services? What's next? Yes, big time yes. Just a big time yes. It's yes from all over the place. The healing services are just the beginning of so much more to come, dear one. They're saying that you are a very bright light worker here on the earth plane, and they're looking forward to working with you and through you and helping so many others here on the earth. Go forth and spread your light, dear one. Go forth and spread your light. Amen. Beautiful. Their energy is wonderful. So that's a big time yes. Big time. Okay, Sherry's question for you, Jason, is you and Eric, what is a good way to get rid of nightmares and negativity that Ashton has been dealing with that came up recently? And these nightmares are coming up because his older brother's in his older brother's room and having lots of people in Ashton's mind say things about him. So what is up with these nightmares? Hmm.
Um, I feel like he's trying to be all scientific. I'm gonna do my best to try to explain in a way that I understand what he's trying to say. Okay. Nightmares, like dreams, a lot of times is the subconscious. We all know this. It's the subconscious. It's our subconscious brain releasing. Um, it can be releasing. It can be an easier way for us to digest things that are going on. So he said, okay, you mentioned in your question that he's had to change, right? Like, or the people around him. He says, how do I say that? He said, you know that amazing boy's brain is already processing things in ways that
Big time.
very, very few people are. Um, so when there are periods of emotional change, it's gonna come out in the nightmare. But he said that,
Yeah.
and I guess you already know this. you can ask for protection, right, for him. He can ask for it. But so they're telling me Michael, like you can call him Michael, but he says, this. Ashton already does this. Eric says that, he can call on me, but he's also saying that if there's, excuse my French, if there's shit that he's working through right now, calling in protection may not stop the release of that information for the subconscious. Like, it's still gonna happen, but it can help him in the way that he's processing the information, to where he takes it. That was weird. I thought I saw somebody over here. He information for what it is versus being scared of it. Does that make sense? Like, that's what the protection can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything over there, Sherry, that is of any concern. I see your teams of angels. I see your dad. He comes and frequents and visits. He's smiling and waving. Okay, Sherry, I literally see this. He's coming and he's going. He's coming and he's going. Sorry, just double check what he said. Stop being so sad about my passing, please. I'm right here. I'm right here. I come to visit. I hear when you talk to me. He just loves coming to visit. He loves to check up on all of you. No more being sad. Okay? No more. He doesn't want you to be sad anymore, or feel down, or depressed. Ashton's processing. And this will take some time.
He says that you can make a physical ritual, like whether you're just smudging, or burning a candle, like the physical act of doing something with the intent. He said would be a great way to help Ashton process, or have a physical representation of, instead of just calling in for the protection, like have a ceremony, or like do some physical, like a physical act, because the physical representation for him is going to then create that power that's going to help him process this stuff that he's going through easier. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, an actual act.
It's something tangible. Yeah, it's something tangible that he can do.
And I think that's great, Eric. I love it. So I'm going to leave Kate's question for you, because I feel like, I'm going to try channeling for some different people. Monica, I'm leaving a yoga studio because I was given an opportunity to take photos of newborns. Will this raise my vibration? And am I making a great decision leaving the yoga studio? Is there any way you can do both? That's what I'm getting. Can you do both? Eric says, yeah, she can. Yeah, she can. Maybe not the same amount of time that you put in before, but you can do both to keep the connection and the high vibrational experience in the yoga studio going. So I don't know if you can do something like, part-time hours there and then full-time hours with the pictures. This is going to be really good. You taking pictures of these newborns. It's almost like you're made for this. It's a perfect fit. Perfect fit. Perfect match. Spirit is so happy about this, that you're doing this. They're so happy. They're happy that you're doing this. Sherry, I still have your dad here waving. He's very entertained watching us channel right now. Okay, So see if you can do part-time at this yoga studio or another one or 2 days a week. I mean, in the evenings, part-time. Okay. Kate's asking, I've been thinking of doing ayahuasca ceremony to help me let go of stuff and seeing things from a different perspective. Please, Eric, what do you think? That's for Kate.
If this is for me, you totally disappeared for a minute.
I did? Sorry. I don't know what happened. I'll read it again. Surprise. Okay, so Kate is asking, I've been thinking of doing an ayahuasca ceremony to help me let go of stuff and see things from a different perspective. Please, Eric, what do you think? Okay, so I think we know what type of ceremony this is. This is where we are taking a substance that is from multiple different plant life from the South American jungle. It's very potent, very strong. It's not for the faint of heart. That is something I would take quite seriously before entering.
Yeah. Okay. I love the way that the light's coming in from my screen when I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's like
so angelic, right? Like,
it's
look,
so
God
angelic.
is right here. Hey,
yeah,
God.
It's almost like your little angel over there.
So Eric's like, I'm not trying to be a drug pusher. Okay, like he's not trying to be a drug pusher. He says that, but modern medicine is afraid to acknowledge how helpful some of these substances can be. He said that's not to say that on a weekend to have a good time, but if you're in the space of trying to issues, there are mushrooms, like good old magic mushrooms. And it's along the same line, like there are beneficial properties and to help release that negative or work through emotional blocks. And he's saying, don't go run out to the cow pasture and start picking mushrooms and eating them. He's like, you need to be careful because in a sense you're poisoning yourself, right? Like he's like, it is, you're poisoning yourself. That's why you get nauseous and that's why you vomit. Your body's trying to get that out of you, right? Like, no, you're not supposed to do this. But he said, I can just see him running through these cow fields.
Me too. I see the cow and I see the cow patties.
Yeah. That's David.
Oh my God, he is so brutal.
One time, Jay. Like, tell him about that one time when you had the fluorescent orange shirt on, trying to be all stealthy, and everybody saw what you were doing. But yeah, he said it absolutely like medicine, if you will. That type of substance can absolutely help you deal with baggage. But you need to make sure that you are getting it from a reputable source.
Totally agree, especially stuff like that. Yeah.
And you need to be, you have to be in the right, because it's only going to amplify what you are currently feeling. So if you're sad and depressed, more than likely, he said, you're going to have a bad trip and you're just going to think about, he's like, now you're going to laugh your ass off at some point. You'll work through it. But he said, just make sure that you're in the right mindset when you do it. You're in a place where you feel safe, to where you can allow yourself to let it work. And you're not so paranoid about where you're at. Foremost, make sure that you're getting it from a reputable, trustworthy source, because you don't want to just go and start cramming all this stuff in your body if it's not what it should be.
And you have to be ready for the side effects that are going to come on physically and emotionally.
Right.
You know, if you go and do ayahuasca, I mean, I watched
Josh Gates do it on Expedition Unknown, and he listed all the side effects. Oh, I might be pooping my pants, just so everybody knows. I might be pooping my pants on camera, and you watch that episode on Expedition Unknown, because the next day after he went through a night of that, he was in tears, and he literally was saying that was one of the most trauma-filled nights of his life. So if you want to go to that extreme, there are other things such as red rooming. Picture a red room. Talk to your team. Let's do this. And many of us aren't big on yelling and screaming, and but start off with whatever issues you have. Put them into that red room. It could be a person. It could be a situation. It could be whatever you want it to be. And then start vocalizing how you're feeling. The red room contains that energy, so it doesn't go out. And, you can add EFT tapping on top of that while you're red rooming. Then you start pacing, and then you maybe punching a pillow. You start raising your voice, start getting it up. We stuff so much stuff down. I bet a lot of healing would take place if you got all that stuff up out of yourself. That's my opinion. But then, Eric, I'm not, I've already been down the drug route. When you're not happy and you drink alcohol even, it's not exactly, there's some nights where you're not a happy drunk, and the side effects of that and the side effects of this, when you go up, you got to come back down. And so try red rooming, try a few other options first and see how that goes. That's my opinion. I'm not channeling that. I'm just giving my opinion. Eric's like, well, thank you. All right. Ruth, am I to work with Shane, Sharon, or all three? Are any of these the divine plan for me? Oh, and what is tickling me on my head? So Eric wants you to follow your internal guidance system. This is you practicing. The more you practice, the more you fine tune it. And that is the way forward. Follow your internal guidance system. Sit quietly. Ask, is it best for me to work with this person, and feel the answer? If it feels really highlighted and open, move in that direction. If it's closed off, your heart chakra, your crown chakra, your solar chakra partially closes off. They can do that, by the way. Is it tightness in your chest, tightness in your stomach with some nausea? That's a no. And he wants you to practice following your internal guidance system. This is what it's all about with you, Ruth. In this lifetime, it's going from left analytical, moving in more of a direction into the right brain, following your internal guidance system and sensing energy, right-brained, if you want to call it that, right brain. And as far as what's tickling your head, Eric goes, it's not me. Okay, so who is it? I don't think it's an angel. I see a woman that's coming to visit you in spirit. She's smiling now, looking at me, smiling, and she's she's stroking your hair. That's what she's doing. Gently, lovingly. Mother? Now I'm asking her, are you her mother? Grandmother? Grandmother. It's your grandmother. So anytime, she wants you to know, when you feel this in your hair, that it's her. Now she's smiling and waving. And it's only her. I don't see anybody else. And I'm not seeing any angels doing it. I'm seeing your grandma doing it. She's gently leaning over you. And I see her talking to you. She's talking to you in your ear, and she's stroking your hair, which you're picking up as tickling. So you do notice that. She likes that you notice that. Okay? Yes. Okay. Oh, ho, ho. Here we go. Okay, so anybody who's going for a second question, I'm going to be passing over you because we're moving on to people that haven't gotten a question in yet, if that's okay. Trudy, are you ready, Jason? My grandson is having a hard time with a recent move, suffered a lot of losses in the past year, including my sister, whom he was so close to. Does she have any messages for him to help us? He's threatening self-harm. So she's got that concern.
I feel like anytime someone has a question that references self-harm, it's something that touches Eric personally. What? He doesn't want you to take those threats lightly.
Yeah.
But like, don't just brush those comments off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Step back a little bit. She's behind me, and she's saying he needs help. Go and get him help. This isn't what she wants for him. This path that he's on with self-harm. She watches over him a lot. She's watching over you and him, the whole family, but mainly him. Go and get him help.
He also wants me to tell you that you have not failed him.
Yeah.
Like you have really everything up to this point that you could. So it's no one's fault. But yeah, I'm totally echoing Kristen's statement of getting him the help that he needs. He's got to talk about it. Because he's wanting the physical release from the self-harm because he thinks that it's going to make all of these thoughts go away.
Yeah.
When Eric says is all it does is it just diverts the mental pain to a physical pain. So yeah, looking around the area, he's making me feel like there's got to be some type of like if you were to search like support groups in the area, that you're gonna get something's gonna pop up.
I just have her energy all around me, and again, getting massive shivers. She's right up above my head now. She says, tell her I love her and that she's doing a wonderful job. She's doing a great job. This isn't an easy path for you, but you're doing it wonderfully. Whew. She's going to go now. She just told me that. So here's how I felt her come in, okay? Energy came right into my upper back and right into the back of my head. She got me in both areas. So if you ever feel like a lot of energy in the back of your head or your upper back, that would be an indicator that it's her. And then she moved up above me. Okay. So Norma wants to ask Jason, will her daughter ever move out?
I saw that question earlier.
I want you to answer it because I know Norma too well. Well, I have the answer that's coming through, but I want Jason to channel it.
I mean, obviously, at some point, Eric's like, he's laughing. At some point, yes, she's going to move out. At some point, she's going to move out. But keep in mind when you enable, you can't expect why would you give that up? Like, like I wish I could still live at home, like, worry free, if she's not already pitching in with a portion of the bills, she needs to. If she's going to stay there, she needs to contribute for the resources that she's using.
Mm-hmm.
He said, watch how fast when you start charging her. He said, make her go buy her own, make her carry her part, and watch how quickly she realizes, okay, I can do this. Well, mom and dad, if I'm going to pay for something for my own, I'm going to have some freedom there, but it's different. Like the freedom that your parents, different than the freedom of being on your own. So yeah, to stop enabling, make her contribute. And yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. But it's not. She's not just gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm gonna move. Being this emergency, like, yeah.
You're cutting out just a little bit, but I got pretty much everything you're saying, but it was a little choppy, so I don't know why. Be live. Guess who's not renewing? Okay, so we'll take a couple more questions, okay? So Tatiana, can I have a message from Eric, please? What to concentrate on now on healing or finding new job? It's like he wants you to get going and start applying for you've already been applying for jobs. He wants you to continue applying for jobs. Keep going. Early next year, spring of next year. Continue getting healings by Kevin Morris. Okay? That's what I'm receiving. Okay, so the next question is Melinda, and she'd like to know, does Eric have any messages for her?
He said, it's a little late for Jason to say this, but again, remember, the more specific the question, the more specific the answer. He said, she wouldn't be too happy if I said, my message is, hey. He's like, right. He's such a smart ass. He was like, that's the message. I said hey to her.
But he's trying to make a point, right?
Yeah, right. But he's gonna say more than hey. He is saying hey though. He's like, hey. You've got to call on him, like you have been calling on him, or he's making it seem like he knows you, and like he comes around and he chats with you, or you have conversations with him in your head. So that's his message, is like, yes, it's me, it's happening. He's just giving you the confirmation. He's giving you the confirmation of your interaction with him. He's just like, there's your message.
I'm just briefly getting that you are moving in the right direction and to keep going on this path. What I'm receiving is that there will be a time when you won't even be questioning the path that you're on because you'll have so much built up to go in this direction. It will compel you, and that will be your soul speaking to you to move in this direction. And your angel says, and what a blessed time this will be. And what a blessed time this will be. Time or moment. 2 words. So Jason's going to be helping me with the beginner's mediumship 101 course coming up in the middle of January. Best teacher ever. Am I doing that in the right direction? Jason is the best teacher ever. And he often channels Eric even when teaching, because Eric's like, yes, 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 like this. So, if you'd like to contact me, if you'd like to come into the Beginner's Mediumship 101 course in the middle of January, and many other mediums will be joining me to help teach the class. And I think it's going to be brilliant, high vibrational, fun experience on Facebook in a private setting. And it's not only that you're practicing channeling, but you're also going to be receiving free practice readings throughout 2 weeks, because the students will need each other to practice on. So how amazing that will be. So thank you, Jason, for coming for the first time channeling on my business page. He's like listening to what Eric's saying. So you're welcome. Thank you. So we'll do this again. And thanks everybody for coming. And we'll channel Eric again, and we'll channel other energies as well. Eric wants to say, toodaloo, motherfuckers. That's what he's saying. Motherfuckers.
Well, I love it.
Okay, have a wonderful Sunday. Bye.
Bye, everybody.